Hello and welcome to the beauty of human biology. I am your host, Trisha Reed. We're going to be exploring the language of the chakras and understanding that felt experience of being a human. I look forward to our journey together. Today we are talking with Sherry Schreck about the third eye chakra, location, eyes, and base of skull. We'll talk about the vision as a complex system of light, refraction, communication with a higher source, and interpersonal or personal relationships of what we perceive is seen. There is both physical sight and seeing through intuition and the sixth sense. We'll be observing the patterns in our own lives by way of chakra balancing, meditations, and affirmations. Hello and welcome. My name is Trisha Reed, and this is Sherry Schreck here with me today. And today our focus is on the third eye, the sixth chakra. Take it away, Sherry.
Yes. So now our journey has gone through 5 of the chakras, and we're now on the sixth, which, as Trisha mentioned, is our third eye. And this one is beyond the elements. So there's 5 elements that we look at within yoga. The throat was the fifth and the most subtle of the elements. And then we're moving into the area of the mind. And in the sixth, it's often referred to, it's not really an element, but that of light. And here, when we say light, yes, this governs our eyes, but this is the spiritual eye. So this is inspiration. So it's that luminescence of idea, and that is inspired. So inspired actually means coming from spirit, right? Inspired, great word. So this energy state of illumination, which is the third chakra, is our right to see. So yes, these eyes, that's one way that we see, but it's also those ahas, the inspiration that we hope comes from spirit. And that's the practice really of the third eye, is tuning in. And here's the idea: is we see a higher truth. We see beyond the illusion of this world and back into a higher truth. And that's why they call it the spiritual eye. So the illusion that we're talking about, we kind of mentioned before, is the illusion that comes from the ego over time, or even the others' egos, that give us thoughts, their own beliefs, if it's coming from outside of us. But we have our own ego that is this little whirlwind of fears. It's really a survival mechanism that sees everything as separate, that we are separate from the world, and that world is a scary world. And so this is the original separation from the divine, and it's playing its part also well. And our spiritual journey is to discriminate. And that's where this chakra comes in, is the discrimination between the illusion of what the ego has created over our lifetimes, that put self-perspective and perspectives of the world, that is a fear-based, and our spiritual practice then is cleaning off that mirror of the ego and coming back to that eternal part, which is that of oneness with spirit and with the divine, and seeing that same spirit, the same light. And that's what we often say, that light as equal to spirit within another person. And often, if you look in someone's eyes, especially if they're in an inspired state, right, you see a light there. You can experience that light. So what does that look like in a balanced chakra? Well, one is that we do have a left and right balance of our brain. So we have 2 brains, or two sides of our brain. One is more on the analytical, planning, doing, and then the other one that is more on the creative, non-linear processing, artistic. And so we want this communication between, and the right brain controls the left broad body, and the left brain controls the right body. So there's this communication that we want to have so that we can coordinate our movements. So for the body, when that's balanced, we have coordinated movement, we have balance, because it's that coordination, that communication, which comes through what's called the corpus callosum, which is located basically the area of this third eye. And so we have that. So we have good communication, we have artistic and action planning, we have good eyesight, our sleep is good. Now that's on the body side. So in the mental emotional, which is a huge part, obviously, from up in the brain area, in the mind, we are talking a lot of mental, emotional connection. And so here would be good memory, good dream recall, having a relationship with spirit. So being clear with inspiration and insight. So having clear inspiration and insight. And then on a life situation, this manifests really literally in creations. So there's an ease in creating when it comes from spirit. It's inspired creation. So we're not pushing to manifest something that feels like it's missing in the world. No, it's coming from this place of inspired action. And then we have a wonderful downhill flow with ease in our manifesting. So also just an easeful flow in life. Now, this doesn't mean there aren't bumps in the path, but someone who has a balanced chakra can take those bumps and flow with ease because it doesn't define them. They're defined by their connection to the spirit. And those bumps, whether it be on the outside world or a health issue in the body, it's just another flow. And because they're connected to spirit, they know that's who they are. And they're not this body, they're not what's manifesting out in the outer world. And so there's happiness and a certain humor. I kind of can see some of the irony in life, I find more and more as I get clearer. So that's kind of where what a balance looks like. And then our challenges. So some of the, when we're in balance in one way or another, here's some of the challenges. One would be sleep. So this is kind of an overactive, egoistic mind that is asking, I think it's asking to be clarified and purified. And so that's how I personally look at it. The other is good sight, good eyesight, being able to see. Now that's on a kind of a physical level, then on a mental, emotional. So I'm going to split this up into two, excesses and deficiencies. So on the excesses, this can range from just difficulty in concentrating to excessive fantasizing, and all the way to the extreme of like delusions and hallucinations. So obviously that is on the extreme, but also excesses can be as simple as just having challenge concentrating. Now on a deficiency, this would be the lack of imagination, excessive skepticism, and even insensitivity to what's going on around them or with other people. So self-centered and interest and in their mind. So that would be a deficiency. And then if you looked at on the mental level, and then if you looked at life situations, how it would manifest would be literally inability to manifest, and especially not with ease. And then a challenging life. And here's the difference is someone with balanced or imbalanced from an external point of view could seem like they're having a challenged life. but it's how do they respond to those challenges. And with the balance, it's with ease, going with the flow, making lemonade out of lemons, right? On the other side, in the imbalance, then it's just like everything is difficult, and there's just they're unhappy in general, miserable. So that's extreme, of course, but that would be an area then that they might need a little uplifting in the third eye arena. So ways of healing. So I'm going to again split this up into excesses and deficiencies. But in the excesses, they're very, very, very much in their head, right? They're imagining, they're hallucinating, but just over daydreaming is overactivity. So what we can do to help is ground. So get us back into the physical body, into the present moment. And one of the ways of doing this is doing something with our body. So one is putting our feet on the floor, feeling our feet. So that is really grounding. Going out in the garden, if you have a garden, and get your hands in the dirt. So these are different grounding, but it could be just moving, walking, doing yoga is perfect because you really need to be in the body. Balancing poses are awesome for getting you really more present, or helping you get present. Also, if you're having problems sleeping, doing dream journaling. And there's tons of things online for symbology of dreams and what they represent. And this is a great tool for processing. And we'll be looking more at processing in the seventh chakra, which is where we start really working on discrimination. So that's excesses. Then for deficiencies, here we want to bring in inspiration, imagination. And the eye exercises can also actually just even help our actual sight, physical sight. A full spectrum light, being outside for a bit to get that, have windows open to get that full spectrum light. Have color around you if you have a deficiency. On the other, you could also say if you are excess, more muted tones and quiet colors would be more beneficial. Back to deficiencies though. So here, helping like with a guided meditation. So we want to tune in to inspiration, right? We tune into spirit. So the way to do that is to quiet the chatter of the mind and to start having a relationship with spirit. So this is kind of where that begins, is with our meditation. And a guided meditation can be helpful, keeping the mind focused and also helping with getting a visualization, an experience. Also color meditation, using color as a medium for focus. And art therapy too. There's a lot of stuff now, a lot online with YouTube. You just look up art therapy and do something that you love. I know one person who does this, and I actually enjoy coloring, and they have these mandala coloring books now, and it can be very meditating if you like coloring. And it's also a little artistic, but therapy can be more like get a piece of paper, get color, and just go for it and express. So those are some of the healing modalities that are out there. And anything else that you can think of that I might like to add?
I was really excited to have you dive into more of the breathing practices and presencing, because I feel like that's what was coming to me when you were talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And definitely we still have, for those that are doing the whole program here, there's a lot of stuff on Zoom right now, just in general, because we're not out and about as much as we were. And so having techniques to help us concentrate is so important, especially for kids. So for those of you that are watching that have kids, these are great exercises for them to do. on a very regular basis, every 20 minutes, for example, can do this. It takes a couple seconds and it refreshes the mind so that it can come back and be present. So really important right now.
Yeah, I think
So,
that's been a big one for me. And that's why when you asked me that, I mean, really the presencing and coming back and pulling out of the daydream and realizing the difference between the daydream and manifestation. I think that's the other thing, and presencing and saying, okay, am I looking to be creative with the intuition and with the thought processes, or am I being distracted and not living in the present moment? So that's why I go there with that. You know what I mean?
that's a really good point to discriminate, because we can just sit there and fantasize, right? There's this part of fantasizing. And then there's another thing that has inspiration. Oh, wow. So oh, wow, those are good. Grab a hold of those, right? And then notice, because I had a little of this go on today for myself, is I then had an oh, wow, and then the little oh, no. So as soon as there's like a lot of oh, no, and this is a habit that you notice of yourself, that you have inspiration, and then all of a sudden there's a part that says oh, no, and you can just like list all these negatives of why not, right? I think most people can relate to that. And that's ego. So catch it and just say, that is not me. It's not mine. I am done with it, and come back to the original inspiration and instead say, how?
Yes.
Yeah. Or wow. And tell me more.
Yeah.
Guide me more. What's the first step that I want to do right now? And then be inspired and take that next step. And just notice how you squash your own party.
Yes.
The part of inspiration.
Yes.
And also with that, I'd like to add is notice too, just be kind to yourself, but notice how you might squish others' inspiration. This is really there, especially little people, kids, they sometimes crazy ass ideas. And for us as adults, especially, to be open to some crazy ideas, they're a little more tapped into inspiration than us because they haven't had as many years of ego squishing. And so just be kind to yourself if you notice that you do have that tendency. And I have a daughter and a son too. They're grown, and my daughter had something going on, and I just I am not raining on her parade. No, I am not. I'm going to be there supportive and help inspire. So definitely something to think about as kids are more at home with homeschooling that's going on much more than it's ever been before, and to really encourage the same type of thing with their kids. What an amazing next generation we can have, where they're connected to spirit, fully inspired, and haven't been told by teachers and other people over a lot of time to be practical and let that craziness fly.
Yeah. Yeah. Because what if it's a fantasy dream that actually could be applicable and change the world? What if it takes that child's little dream and it becomes something that just changes everything for the whole planet? Like, who knows? Yeah. I love it.
Exactly. So let's do it. This will be a short version, something that everyone can do at any time, because you don't need anything, just your body. I think we all have that right now, so we're good. And so it's going to we're going to do a little twist. We're going to do a little breathing exercise. We're going to do a mudra, a hand position to help concentration and that balance of right and left brain, and then a third eye meditation. So this kind of will help with the body, refreshing the body, with the breathing and balancing the brain and really connecting into that space. So placing your feet on the ground, if that is available to you, just here, and get a little more elongated through the spine, because we're going to, and make sure there's space behind you. So if you're in a chair, kind of come to the very front of the chair so that you have room, because we're going to be twisting. So we're going to twist to the left first. So just place the fingertips behind as much as you can. Right hand can come on the left leg, lengthening the spine. So think of a lotus thread running through the spine and being pulled up from the crown. And as you exhale, twist, looking behind, and take some full, deep, long breaths. So starting the breath at the belly, letting it rise up to the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, let it twist you a little deeper. That a few more times. And when you're doing this on your own, just at least 5 long, deep breaths. And then as you inhale, face back forward. We're going to go the other side, take the right hand behind, left hand comes on that other leg. So lengthening all the way, feel that lotus thread being pulled up, and exhale, twisting. So each inhale lengthens the spine, the exhale revolving around, wringing out all the old. So when we do a twist, it actually twists and massages the organs in your body. And so that when we inhale now and come back forward, fresh blood comes into the organs, refreshing. So we're more invigorated, a little more aware. So this next one is a breathing exercise that's called Nadi Shodhana, means alternate nostril breathing. So we're going to use our right hand, and traditionally we close the right nostril with your thumb, and then the little 2 fingers, we close the other. So do that the best as you can. It can be a little awkward at the beginning, getting the pinky and the ring finger to actually be at the same position, but do the best you can. The main thing is breathe. Now we're going to use that Ujjayi breath we talked about before, where there's a slightly toning in the throat. And what this will do is on the more open nostril, because one will be more open than the other, is that we can slow it down with the Ujjayi, and then we can put a little more pressure through the stuffier nostril. So you'll notice a little difference, and that's normal. And usually it switches about every 2 hours. And this also brings a balance between the 2 nostrils. All right, so take a full Ujjayi breath in, close off the right nostril, exhale left, inhale left, switch, exhale right, inhale right, switch, exhale left, inhale left, switch, exhale right. Inhale right, exhale left. Keep going, and always switch after your inhale. So when you're doing this on your own, the important part is just switching after your inhale and continuing. And when you do the right side, exhaling, and then full inhale. Just relax. And just for a moment with the eyes closed, see if you can feel a little difference. You might be more aware of your nostrils and the breath that's moving through. Already the mind might be a little quieter. And as we continue, we're going to do something called a Hakini Mudra. And here your fingertips are touching. And your arms can just rest comfortably by the heart. There's my thumb usually touches the heart center as a reminder of aligning the mind with the heart. And here, this also helps balance the right and left brain as the left and right hand touches each other. So as you have your eyes closed, your body relaxed, breathing naturally now, start to become aware of your eyes. And with your eyelids closed, there may be a play of light on the eyelids. This is normal. It kind of almost can seem like your TV when the cable's not plugged in, or it used to be that way, and it was fuzz. We call it snow, TV snow, right? So notice how can be similar to TV snow, especially at the beginning. And just stay aware of that play of light. Sometimes that light starts to focus like a flashlight. Sometimes that more focused light can be pulsing, sometimes steady, sometimes it's white, sometimes more a red tone, sometimes black, doesn't matter. Here you're just focusing. Other colors are also possible. It's not important. Here, just be present with the play of snow or light, not holding on to it, but just becoming aware of it. Now, as you gently keeping your focus, the eyes are relaxed, so are the eyelids. If that flashlight kind of more focused area starts happening, just go with it. Or maybe a slight gaze upward where it's between your eyebrows, that third eye. But if there's any discomfort doing that, go back to the eyelids. The gaze will naturally go up. And here we're inviting inspiration, inviting the connection to spirit. So the intention is to open the mind to spirit, to the divine. When the mind wanders away, gently come back to the eyes, the eyelids, and that invitation to the third eye, that spiritual eye. The balanced brain, the balanced mind. And at the beginning, it's not important how long the mind can stay focused. It's the coming back over and over, the practice. Here, imagine that third eye, an inspired light. See if you can connect to the heart where your thumb is resting at the heart center. Connecting mind and heart. You might imagine like a pebble, a divinely inspired idea or pebble just dropping into the heart. Letting those waves of inspiration move out into the world for easeful creation. And maybe in gratitude for any inspiration or gratitude for future inspiration. Namaste.
Namaste.
One thing that I like to add after I'm doing that is, after dropping into the heart, is to just write anything, any images, anything that comes up, whatever inspiration there may have been. And there's another part of the brain that works when you write. And it's interesting, as you allow the flow of writing, what actually ends up on the paper.
That's beautiful. I'm so thankful for that reminder. And I will do that when I get off this call. Love it. Sherry, do you feel like there's anything else life is asking you to share with us at this time?
You know, what's inspiring me is that, again, of connecting with children, and they're needing this even more than us right now, is to find inspiration from inside, and to be encouraged to allow that to manifest in art, for example, play, and that encouragement of imagination.
Thank you. This has been wonderful. Thank you, Sherry, for joining us. I'm your host, Trisha Reed, and we will see you tomorrow for the 7th chakra.
Woo!
See you then.
And